You better call somebody!
Welcome everybody to WWPWW Worldwide Wrestling Podcast.
That's right, here we go, huh? We're gonna talk like this all day tonight.
Just got tongue tied. I was so excited. Getting back into the swing of things. I like it. It's good to be back here. It's like what, our third straight week back now? I think so. It feels good being back in the swing of doing the podcast and all that jazz. A lot of fun. Big show today. I think we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about, and next week I'm sure we're gonna have a lot to talk about too.
Yep.
So yeah, man, big, very big Raw and SmackDown this week, leading up to the big must-see, must-watch, has potential to be the best pay-per-view of the year thus far. Survivor Series. Cannot wait for this. This is our Survivor Series Super Spectacular show. That's what this is going to be called. Just popped into my head as I was yammering on there. Jeremy, anything happened in the news of wrestling? And how are you, by the way?
I'm doing well. I'm waiting because there's two things that were, well, at least one thing that I can think of that was not talked about after this week's SmackDown. Who will replace Charlotte as the next team member? Like, they didn't talk about it. They said they were gonna put it up somewhere, or we're gonna find out on Sunday. The rumor is it'll be Paige. That they held Paige out of Raw so that she can become she'll be on SmackDown.
I think she'll get a pretty huge spot, maybe.
I think it would be better for her to be on SmackDown right now, especially with Asuka getting ready to have a big push on Raw.
Yeah.
But still, I wonder if it will be Paige. We'll see what happens. But also, as I was looking to see if maybe they would put it on Twitter, found out that today, in the last hour or so, maybe 30 minutes or so, they have released James Ellsworth, which I'm really sad about. I liked his character. I thought he was funny. I wish they would have given him some more stuff to do and not just stuck him with Carmella, even though that was pretty funny. But they released him, and I'm sure the dude has been in independent wrestling for a long time, and so he's not going to have trouble finding work, and I'm sure he wants to spend time with his daughters as well. So for him, I think this was the best thing possible. Spend a year in WWE, learn from behind the scenes how to make a character better. Dude's been working at the independent scene for a long time. He's gonna make it. He's gonna be all right. As far as that goes, anything else goes. Everything else is rumor and conjecture, and wrestling rumors are kind of the worst kind of rumors because they may have like an ounce of truth to them. Like this past week was that Paige would show up on Raw and be the fifth team on Raw side. And then there was rumors, she made people mad on backstage, and so talk about WWE rumors. It's fun to postulate and all these things, but I don't really want to.
It's almost like wrestling, internet wrestling rumors, or anything, any kind of wrestling rumors. It's basically it's taken back to high school days.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of like a nostalgic yearning. It makes you feel like you're in high school, and everybody's gossiping in the lunchroom or in study hall. And so I feel like internet wrestling forums are the place where that happens now. And so we kind of get to scratch that itch, of gossiping and spreading rumors for wrestling.
And not only that, like, WWE are the biggest trolls. Like, they will pick up on a rumor and they will exploit it. And so they'll take something that might be true and just kind of flip it on its head and cause some other things. So I don't really want to talk about any more about rumor. I just know that was the one thing. James Ellsworth has been let go, and we don't know who the fifth member of Team SmackDown, the women's.
Yeah, I hope it's Paige. I think that'd be a cool reveal. It better not be one of the Bellas, because I feel like people are probably thinking it's Paige, and then when Nikki, nothing against like Nikki or Brie Bella, I just think that if you kind of do a quote unquote swerve, even though it's not exactly a swerve, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, they would have swerved themselves. Like, it's going to be Paige, and then if it's not Paige, you're going to be upset. So,
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that'd be a really cool reveal. Okay, so question. Are you still super pumped for Jericho versus Omega? at Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, I mean I think it'll be a good match.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm super excited.
When is Wrestle Kingdom?
It's January 4th.
January 4th.
It's always on January 4th because it used to be called the January 4 Tokyo Dome show.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's always January 4th. So that's kind of it's like, well, what if it's on a Sunday? If it's not on a Sunday, you're kind of like, oh, well, shoot.
Yeah.
If it's on a Saturday, fine, I guess that's cool. But if it's on a Tuesday, so it's like, oh, I guess it's on a Tuesday. Like, it's just like, people have stuff to do. Like,
Exactly.
So, anyways, yeah, I just can't wait for that. I'm just so stoked for that.
Fun fact: January 4th is on a Thursday.
Oh, so it's a Thursday this year. Okay, very interesting.
Just to let you all know. Hi, Ryan.
Yeah. I was probably gonna Google it after this. It probably would have been in my brain all day. It's just like, when January 4th is this year? This coming year. But yeah, so just so excited for Survivor Series. Cannot wait. Is there anything else before we move on to Raw, SmackDown, and Survivor Series?
I can't think of anything.
All right, cool. Well, let's jump right into the meat of the show. Big old fat juicy steak that is Monday Night Raw. Jeremy, did you enjoy Monday Night Raw? What did you like? What didn't you like? Was it a good go home show?
I think if you put both of these shows together, they're good go home shows. I think on their own,
I agree.
There are ounces of each show that were really, really good for a go home show, but as a whole, it was a really good set of go home shows, which is good. They kind of bookended this whole series of events that happened with the Under Siege with SmackDown to the bookend with the SmackDown with Raw Under Siege, or with SmackDown Under Siege by Raw. So it was a good bookend series. If you took all of what happened when the first Under Siege happened, take it to the end of SmackDown this past week, the whole of it has been really solid and really good, well written, well developed. And so as far as Raw, I'm trying to think of what I really, really enjoyed on Raw. I really liked Braun Strowman versus Kane.
Yeah, that was good.
I liked the finish there. I was a little perturbed that the cutout was they just were done with Kane or Strowman power slams Kane through the ring. They talk for a couple seconds, and then it just cut out. I was like, oh, that's kind of dumb.
Yeah.
But then you get on WWE's YouTube page and see what happens. Braun comes out, you don't see Kane at all, which is kind of interesting. I'm interested in seeing where that goes. I didn't like the fact that they brought Bray back to be a jobber for Jason Jordan.
Yeah, that sucks.
I understand it. I understand that Jason has to get through a tough competitor, but Bray, like I heard one commentator say, Bray has been losing a lot lately. What kind of influence, or what kind of power, or what kind of because he's not been winning, what does that matter?
Yeah.
Jason Jordan could go through him no problem. Why not bring in somebody who's been winning a bit, and then have him wrestle with him? But I didn't like. I know people were really upset and frustrated with Jason Jordan being whiny. I get that, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, the only thing that bothered me about that was the crowd just would kind of being. It's just like just like you don't boo a movie.
No.
When there's a scene like this in a movie, so just like it's a story thing, just let it happen. Like,
yeah,
that was really the only thing that bothered me, was the crowd was, just being openly defiant in that moment. It's like, this is obviously a story thing, just let it play out.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of people, when I think I listened to two people outside of us, obviously, that were very negative about that, and I'm just like, it was because the crowd that you're negative.
Mm-hmm.
Because I kind of ignored the crowd, was he whiny? Yes. But like you said, where is the story going? Do I want Triple H versus Kurt Angle? Not really. I mean, not at WrestleMania. Royal Rumble? No problem. WrestleMania? I don't know. It might be cool to have a Jason Jordan heel turn and be Jason Jordan versus Kurt Angle.
That would be
at
really
WrestleMania.
cool.
I think that would be pretty cool, pretty neat, with both their amateur wrestling backgrounds, and Jason Jordan becoming the heel, and then Kurt having to deal with that on
That would be really
the next
awesome.
Raw, and seeing what happens with that. That would be kind of interesting. But we need to let this whole thing play out to see what happens. At least that storyline on Raw is going to be carried over. There's one on Raw or one on SmackDown that I cannot wait to see what happens.
Yeah, it's kind of going off that just real
Mhm.
quick, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that like I'd love to see Kurt Angle versus Triple H, but I agree Royal Rumble would probably be the better place to do it. Because I feel like doing like Shane versus Triple H or Shane versus Kurt at Mania would be better. I feel like one of those at Mania would be better because it feels like they want to do some kind of clash of, they want to keep continuing doing a clash of Raw and SmackDown, whether it's Shane versus Kurt at Mania or Shane versus Triple H at Mania or something, or we're going to get two. It's going to be Shane versus Triple H at Mania, and it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania if that ever happens. So,
would be nice.
So yeah, there's lots of things, but yeah, I feel like it is something I would want to see. I would want to see, the two old veterans, the two, grizzled up old dogs, go, have one last, fight, and I think it'd be really cool. But I feel like WrestleMania wouldn't be the place to do that. I feel like Royal Rumble might be a better place because it would add one more marquee match besides obviously the Rumble to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view.
My biggest problem with Kurt Angle versus Triple H is that Batista has gone on record saying that the only way he would come back would be with in a program with Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've kind of stolen. For me, I feel like they've stolen Batista's idea because Batista has talked to Triple H. He's like, this is the only reason why. This is the only way I would come back is if we had one last proper thing with you. That they've taken that and were like, you know what, we'll do Kurt versus Triple H. I don't want to see that. I want to see Triple H versus Batista because that's Batista's idea. That's his thing. I want to see Kurt Angle versus, like you said, versus Daniel Bryan. That's what I want to see. Or, evil Jason Jordan. Whatever.
Yeah.
Something that can happen.
Yeah, because I love Batista. He's one of my all-time favorites. Being the huge Batista fan I am, I would love to see him come back for one last ride. And I think it should be against Triple H because Triple H was his first big,
Feud.
Was his first big feud. They feuded over the World Heavyweight Championship. It was a great storyline, and they had 3 great matches, and it was, it was great. So this would be, it would be a great way to go out, so.
So I'm trying to think. That was, like I said, I didn't hate it. It was just kind of, I want to see where that goes. I'm trying to think of anything on Raw that you really enjoyed that stood out to you.
The opening being crashed by the Shield, I thought that was cool. I liked everything they did.
Yep.
Challenging New Day and, all the back and forth in the ring and stuff. I thought that was all cool. The crowd very, very warm to Roman Reigns, which was a nice change of pace.
It was.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, I feel. So
I agree.
Hopefully people stop being jerks and, kind of, because when he came out, like, when it just saw them two and then, Roman came out, it's like, oh, the crowd got louder and louder. So I was like, that's cool, man. And, yeah, it was that was really cool, and I love that they were sticking up for Kurt and all that. That was cool, and I think them versus New Day will be pretty good as far as series. I can't wait for that. And they had a match, right? Who did they face later? Was it
New Day?
No, not New Day.
Oh no, sorry.
Shield.
Shield.
Was it the Miz and
Miz and
the Bar?
As somebody had put it, the Bar Miz.
Bar Miz.
Bar Mitzvah. Team.
That's
Wrestling
fantastic.
with Regret. They said that. That was really
Bar
funny.
Mitzvah. That's pretty clever. That's fantastic.
It was those two.
That was a fun match. Just to watch, just to see the Shield in action again and stuff like that. So that was fun. That was really cool. Like you said, Braun vs. Kane was pretty good. I enjoyed that. And then Triple H, that reveal, I didn't see that coming, really didn't. That was well done. And then when he said he was the 5th member, I'm like, oh man, they just keep adding on and making it better and better and better. And so
They did, and I don't know if that was like in response to all the negative comments they've gotten about gender and about Jason and stuff, or if it was just this is their plan all along.
Mhm.
Like
yeah,
we'll string them
fished us
along.
in.
Yeah, exactly. We'll string them along, and then all of a sudden we'll pull the big guns out, and these are the people that are actually going to be in the matches. Which again, it makes for a better pay per view
Mhm.
doing it this way. You want to see what happens. You want to see Triple H versus Shane because they're brother-in-laws.
Mhm.
You want to see Braun Strowman versus anybody on SmackDown roster.
Mhm.
Like when he threw Shinsuke out of the ring on SmackDown, I was just like, yeah. I want to see that. I want to see that. I want to see Shane versus Braun. I want to see Braun versus the world.
Mhm.
To be totally honest with you. So yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. They made an okay looking pay per view into this is one of the big four pay per views. Absolutely darn straight, they're going to put all their
Mhm.
top talent on the show.
I know, because it's just like last year was a great Survivor Series.
It was
fantastic, and it was just like because you had Goldberg returning in that big match, which shocked everybody, and you and I loved. And then the men's Survivor Series tag match was awesome. It went on for like something crazy. It was like 49 minutes long or something. Like it was like really long, but it was really really good, really well done. Just an awesome match. And then you had the women's Survivor Series match, which was good but a little too short. And yeah, it was just like, how are they gonna top it? And just do everything Raw versus SmackDown.
Yep.
Just do everything Raw versus SmackDown. Like that's an awesome way to do it, man. And some of these matches, like Miz and Baron Corbin, I'm excited to see that.
Yep.
Charlotte now versus Alexa Bliss, excited to see that.
Yep.
I mean, Charlotte could put on a 4-star match with a chair. That's a challenge, Charlotte. Okay. Woo!
That's really funny.
Like she's gonna hear this.
What'd you say?
Well, I said like she's gonna hear this.
Yeah. Never know.
You never know. And
If we tag Charlotte, listen to this.
yeah.
Listen halfway through.
Excuse me, Charlotte. And then Brock versus AJ, which I'm pretty sure that sounds like Vince was just like, you know what? Yeah, Brock's probably gonna leave after his contract is up. Let's have him. Let's do a dream match before he goes. Let's get some really good big dream matches under his belt in his title reign before he goes or something. I don't know. So yeah, now we have that, which is awesome. And then this match, which they just keep adding to and making it better. And so yeah, I just can't wait. They lined themselves up to top last year's Survivor Series really really well.
They did.
And I can't wait to see it, man. It's going to be super super awesome. So I'm trying to think of what else.
Back to Raw.
Yeah.
You're right. The opening was really really well done. The thing I'm scared about is that they're going to turn the Shield against each other too soon.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, don't do it. Like, have them go their separate ways.
But don't break up.
Like, I don't want to see Dean become a bad guy. I don't think he is a good bad guy. He's a great in-betweener.
Yeah.
But he's not. I don't think he's going to be a good bad guy.
I don't think anybody wants to boo him, and I don't think anybody will either.
Yeah. I mean, if anything, all three of these guys should just be in-betweeners. Like, they both have that likableness, but yet that I hate you.
They all dress like the Punisher, so they should all be like the Punisher.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. I mean, I think if anybody, Seth has a better babyface run right now in him, but just let him be. Let him be that thing that they don't always have to be together. They can be separate. They can be tag teams. They can come back and forth. Just let them be. I don't want to see another Shield. I didn't get to be a part of that when it happened, but I don't really want to see them split up. I'm tired of WWE bringing in tag teams and then splitting them up. Tired of that storyline. They've done it for years and years and years and years and years now. I don't want to see it again. Let's stop that nonsense. Let's just make them a team, keep them together, and let them go their separate ways. Not just you know what I mean. Don't break them up like they did last time.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anybody turn heel. Just keep going.
Yeah, because it's just like, okay, you're just doing the exact same thing.
Yep. But that is the wrestling business. It's the exact same thing over and over and over again.
Well, at least there's different characters involved. It's redressed.
Yeah.
There's things that are slightly different. It's a new era, so blah blah blah. This would just be the exact same thing, but with a different person turning heel. The only way it would work in my mind is the one way I talked about it, where Roman turns heel because the Authors of Pain show up and absolutely wreck Seth and Dean.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think Roman's gonna attack the Authors of Pain, and then they do the Shield fist bump thing, and then Roman. That's the only way it would work.
Yeah.
That's the only way that breaking up the Shield again would work for me.
Sure.
Is turning Roman heel and putting the Authors of Pain as his, create a new stable, because we love stables.
Yes, we do.
And you turn Roman heel, so you give some people something they're clamoring for, and you let Roman try to work that a little, try to be a bad guy after trying to portray him as a good guy. So yeah, that's the only way it would work for me. But yeah, if they don't do that, I feel like just have them go their separate ways. Be like, oh yeah, we're not breaking up. We each have our own goals that we need to work on right now, or something kind of like that.
Yep.
They're going on a break. They're not breaking up.
Exactly. We're on a break. But I thought we were on a break.
Exactly.
I'm trying to think of the other stuff that on Raw that was really well done. I mean, I know people were complaining about them dragging out the women's five-man team, or five-woman team, I should say, on Raw, because there were backstage rumors that Paige was going to be the fifth person, like she was going to actually be a part of this match on Raw, but apparently she had gotten some this is where all the rumors and all the backstage garbage is. Mm-hmm. There was apparently some heat because she took a picture with somebody. It's all stupid nonsense. The reality is they have something else for Paige. Let's just wait. But there is this kind of idea that they kind of drug out this the fifth person or fifth woman on the women's team being Bailey. But I don't mind it, because they needed something to keep that in their minds going into the Survivor Series. The thing I am interested in is, I'm assuming after Survivor Series, Asuka and Dana are going to be in a feud. That was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like Dana knocking Asuka down a little peg, if you will. That'll be interesting to see if they pick that up after Raw, or after Survivor Series on the next Raw, if that will play out with that.
Yeah, I know. Because when that happened, when she pushed her back and she was like, "I don't need your help. What are you doing?" I just was like, "Uh-oh." And then I was like, "You are not ready for Asuka."
Asuka's gonna kill you.
I was just like, You just made the list.
Which is kind of cool. I'm glad they did that with that, if that is going to be the feud coming in. Because they need to give Dana something to do, even though she's not the greatest wrestler in the world. They need to give her something to do.
They do.
And Asuka would be a good somebody to do that with.
I feel like they could. I feel like they both benefit from that feud. I do. Too. I do. So.
What else on Raw?
I don't know. I think we touched on. I think all the stuff that we touched on was like the best stuff about it. Like it was really good.
I don't ever get to see him, but Drew Gulak is one of the best characters right now coming into in WWE right now. His character is hilarious. I watch him on 205 Live, and he's just the best. I love the PowerPoint stuff. I love the talking for Enzo stuff. I love every bit of him. He's just a great character. So, anyway, that's all I can think of.
All right, I just had something, but it keeps evading me. Like I'm just almost getting it. The main event was that was Samoa Joe and Finn Balor teaming up.
Was that the main event?
Against the Club? I'm pretty sure it was.
I felt like that was in the middle of the show. I don't remember at all.
I don't know, but
that was good.
Yeah, because was it last week that they got in the fight? He answered Samoa Joe's challenge, and they got in the fight, which was awesome. Because it's just like nice bringing that NXT history back, and so yeah, like those two guys, like I said last week, I could watch those guys, have a 3-hour match and probably wouldn't get bored, and yeah, so I don't know if that is the next feud that they're doing for those guys, or they're just planting seeds for the feud somewhere else down the line.
I think it'd be
either
cool
way
to see them tag up for a small bit.
Yeah. But that would be really cool.
But you're right. I don't know if that's one of those things that's going to happen or not.
Yeah, because both those guys are some of the best wrestlers in the world and some of the best wrestlers in the company, Finn and Joe. So, yeah, they're fantastic. Fantastico. Well, I'm trying to think of anything else, but I can't. I think I pretty much said everything I wanted to say because all the stuff that I talked about I was really excited for. So anyways, I guess we'll go ahead and close down Raw.
Rate it?
Yeah. Rate it. Grade it and rate it and love it. I don't know. So, letter grade, Jeremy. What would you give Monday Night Raw?
Raw, I would give a B.
Okay.
I think. There wasn't anything that I really hated about it. But if I were to put both of them together, I would give it an A minus. If I put both SmackDown and Raw together,
it's
they
almost
were just better together.
Yeah,
so.
It's almost like Raw is Fellowship of the Ring. SmackDown was Two Towers, and then the ultimate payoff, Return of the King, is is Survivor Series.
I agree.
So it's separate entities, but it's one giant entity, but it's like three separate structures of it. So
yes,
this Raw SmackDown, I think this is a good trilogy of wrestling storytelling. These three shows, because they are go home shows, but together they make one really, really good go home show to the ultimate payoff, the big climax, which is Return of the King / Survivor Series. So yeah, I think I would give it. I think I'd give it a B as well. It was really, really, really good. Got me pumped up, but not as pumped up as SmackDown got me. So I think I was like, man, this was so good. And then I saw SmackDown, and I was like, wow, this was really, really good. Maybe a little better. So I think I give this very, very high B, almost B plus. Very, very high B. This one.
Right on.
So we now go to the Smack Diddly Down Live.
SmackDown Live. Caleb, what did you think about this show?
I loved this edition of SmackDown. I really, really enjoyed it. I was never bored by it early. I was highly entertained throughout it. Okay, the pep rally at the beginning with Shane McMahon was kind of silly, but that's wrestling. I was just like, this totally is something back in like 88, 89 would have happened backstage with, somebody up on the stage. I don't know who, it probably would have been
Hogan.
It probably would have been Hogan.
Hogan.
Priming up everybody, like, what are you going to do when we go and face Raw at Survivor Series, brother? And, and all that. So, this was a very 80s thing.
It was a very 80s thing. And I've been watching a lot of the early 80s. I've been going through the pantheon of the WWE's pay-per-views from, WrestleMania 1 to all through that stuff. And you're right. Like, this reminds me of the stuff that they would have with Mean Gene. And everybody who talked sounded like they were from the 80s. You're absolutely right about that.
I know, and I was just like, it is silly, but like I said, that's wrestling. It's nostalgic. It's an 80s thing. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
It was very silly, but I liked it.
Yeah.
And then, but probably the best thing about SmackDown was Daniel Bryan as AJ Styles' advocate, mimicking Paul Heyman. That was absolute gold. Loved every minute of that. And I just love where he's just like, would you do me the honor of letting me be your advocate for one night only? And I love how AJ just kind of smirked and then went, he did the yes point, the yes thing. That was great, and yeah, that was fantastic. And then I love at the end of that how he's just like, I'm actually gonna start talking now because I'm like Brock Lesnar. I'm not above that. And
there was some really good.
They had some really good barbs at especially at Lesnar, at both of them, but especially at Lesnar. So I was just, like, Brock has very thick skin, so I'm sure it won't bother him.
Yeah.
I'm sure he I'm sure he gets a kick out of this kind of stuff. But yeah, I was just like, whoa, spitting that fire, Daniel Bryan. I like it. Like, yeah, it was awesome. Like, to see those guys do this whole thing, mimicking the whole Paul Heyman. That was awesome. But Paul Heyman, going back to Raw, Paul Heyman's thing was great, and I love that he burned that guy who proposed to his girlfriend or whatever. That was awesome. Can't believe I forgot to mention that, but I'm glad I remembered, because that whole thing was great. All the reasons. Reason
the
number 2.
Yeah, that was
reason number F5.
Yep.
Like, all that stuff was good. But yeah, anyway, so, and then mimicking that on SmackDown with AJ and Daniel was awesome. I thought it was great. It was probably the best thing of the night. Getting a downvote though was no Randy Orton this week. Hardly any Shinsuke Nakamura, and it's backstage. This isn't a downvote really, but it seems like probably not too long after the India tour starts, really soon after Survivor Series. They're going to be wrestling on house shows, Jinder and AJ, and he probably will lose it. Yeah, but yeah, did you see
maybe?
But did you see the video of Triple H? He's going to be on the India tour. He challenged Jinder Mahal to a match.
There's actually I don't know how many places they're touring in India, but there's one place that they've decided to put both shows together and make a super show.
Oh.
And so
I hope we get some footage of that.
I think that's the show that Triple H and Jinder are wrestling, which would mean that AJ wouldn't be wrestling Jinder. So I don't know.
Okay.
I honestly don't think now, because of some of, like I said, some of the rumors that are coming out, I don't think AJ will be losing the title to anyone but either Shinsuke or Bobby Roode, because both those guys, they want to push up the ranks, and if once they turn Bobby Roode heel, it'll be better show, or a better matching. But anyway, sorry.
No. Fine. Just lost my train of thought.
Jinder and Triple H wrestling in India. Hope that they have tape sometime. Which I think the same thing. I think the same thing about the upcoming. The upcoming. No, we both did it. Starrcade, because Starrcade isn't going to be a taped show. It's just
really?
It's just going to be a big thing there, and
lame.
Yeah, it's pretty.
I was
stupid.
hoping if they would at least don't have to commentary, at least have a hard cam there, just to at least give us footage, man, that stinks. But what was I? Dang it. Okay, yeah, Jinder, blah, 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 blah.
Jinder, Bobinder, Banana, Fana, Bobinder.
E5, Bobinder, Jinder. Sucks. It's just cause you're a bad guy, Jinder.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, there's a chick I follow on Twitter who's like a massive Jinder fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, she called herself like the Lady Maharaja or something like that, and I was just like, I didn't think there was anybody who was that big of a fan of Jinder Mahal. Hey, that's good for Jinder Mahal that he's got his fans, but it's just like I didn't know there was anybody who was that big of a fan.
That's really funny.
Because there was a guy who was a huge AJ Styles Finn Balor fan giving her grief, and she blocked him.
Awesome.
I know. I was just like, hardcore. That's pretty sweet. Anyways, yeah, I'm just rambling on because I forgot what I was gonna say. What else? Man, what else happened on SmackDown? I just watched it last night, for crying out loud. Can you remember anything? Do you want to take it over for a minute?
The thing that's got me really excited and interested to see what happens is.
I mean, apart from the ending, I can't remember anything else.
Is the after the whole Daniel Bryan stuff and AJ Styles, which was gold, it was very, very well done. They had a backstage interview, or backstage encounter, I should say, with he and Shane, and Daniel said, on Monday we're going to have a sit down and we're going to talk about cohesion. I want to know where this goes. I'm really interested in that. They really made me want to watch the next SmackDown because I'm really intrigued on that statement. That I don't think that's a throwaway. I think that was done on purpose. See, the other things were setting up for future things, I think, because they had one of the Usos versus Gable. That was kind of a throwaway match to set up.
Once again, Usos, pure gold. They were awesome. American Alpha Part 2.
So funny.
I love that they keep calling him that.
Yeah, their promos coming out were really good too. The Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. We can go to the last match. Let's go ahead and go to the last match because I can't think of anything else on SmackDown.
I can't think of anything else. Why don't we just skip that?
You go ahead and talk about what you thought about the last events.
Okay. Yeah. Just piggybacking off of everything we've said in the previous weeks, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are doing awesome together. Since Sami's turned heel, and I love that they had a match against New Day. Last week we were talking about, I was talking about like, oh, how cool would that be if these guys feuded? Oh, the promos, oh, the delicious promos and the wonderful matches. And then, so now it seems like we're getting at least a taste of that. And so I was really, really excited. And I was just like, man, I expected it to happen. Or I was waiting for it to happen. I was like, maybe it won't. It doesn't seem like anything's going to happen. I was hoping for this big blow off, this big payoff, like, whatever. And in the back of my mind, I was like, it might happen. It might happen. And the match is going on, and then boom, the Shield music hits, and I just went absolutely banana sandwich. Yeah, I lost it. I was just like, oh man, like I'm just waiting for it. Like I was just like, okay, I think the Shield music's gonna hit. It seems like it seems like they would. It seems like they should come out. And then they and I was like, I guess that nothing will happen. There's hardly any time left in the show. Okay, the Shield music hit. Oh, here we go. And then they had those like, Frankenstein Two-Face shirts, which I'm sure in their minds they're like, it'll look really cool, but when you saw them, it looked a little silly.
Yeah.
This is a little silly. It's a cool idea, but when you actually see it, it's just like, if the shirt was black and then said Raw in red letters, it wouldn't look as bad. But since it's that bright Christmas red with white letters that say Raw, it looked really bad.
Yeah, it looked weird.
Like, yeah, if it at least if it was a darker red, maybe it wouldn't look, much darker red, it wouldn't look quite as silly. But so yeah, they came down. That was really cool. And they just like wrecked everybody in the ring and stuff, and kind of showing that it's their yard. And one thing I liked, it was a nice little touch of storytelling and psychology, was when everybody else starts running out and the Usos run into the ring, and then Roman has like a little standoff. Like it's just like a split second. They just have a standoff. None of them do anything, and then Seth and Dean just jump on Jimmy and Jey Uso.
Yes.
So he's just kind of like, wait, this is my cousin's. I can't. And then they just,
yep.
While he's hesitating, they just jump in. So yeah, just a nice little touch. I kind of dug that. I was like, yeah, they're on the opposite side. They're on the opposite side of the playground, but they're still cousins. So yeah, I just really liked that. I thought that was a cool little touch. And then, oh man, just so much cool stuff was happening in this. Probably, the best things. Kurt Angle comes out, people go nuts, and then you just see him. I just love Kurt Angle. Just looks at the ring, looks back, and just does the get out here. And then Braun comes out, which was his music hits, and then just everybody loses it. And I love how Braun just looks at Kurt, and then Kurt nods, and then he goes over, and then he just starts demolishing everybody. Like, I know I'm like explaining this whole thing in like explicit detail, but it's just like I was just so excited about it. And then him and Shinsuke had like a little standoff, and they went at it for a minute. Like, so yeah, that really got me excited too. Like, I'm with you there 100%. I was like, sweet.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so many people versus Braun would be exciting. And yeah, it was just really, really cool to see, Raw kick back with this and stuff, and then the Shield just powerbombed him, did the Cerberus powerbomb twice to him, and yeah, that was all really, really cool stuff. And then Kurt Angle did the angle slam for good measure and stuff. Like, yeah, and it was awesome. Like, I really liked. It's such a great way to go home, this ending. And so, what do you think? What did you think about SmackDown?
I agree with everything you said. I liked the end of it. The thing that intrigues me the most, however, is Kevin and Sami hightailing out. They leave. Like, I was waiting for them to leave because I thought because that's their character right now. Their character is down with the man. I don't care about Shane. I don't care about blah 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 blah. And they only care about themselves, which plays into the possible the possible things behind them getting sent home from the tour, which makes me wonder if they were either playing their character in order to get sent home or what. But I'm very, very interested in seeing where that goes. There are, again, rumors that they will show up and do something at Survivor Series. What, I don't know. I would like to see them become down with the man type things. Like, this is no longer SmackDown. I know he's been doing it for a long time. This is the Kevin Owens show. But, like, this is now, kind of a
sort of like a millennial version of DX.
yeah, like a millennial version of DX, where we're just like, we're done with you, Shane. Which kind of what the Shield did on Raw, but I think with Sammy and Kevin, they could start being like an indie, like millennial, but like hipster type wrestling. We're the
millennial
indie we're the indie guys.
Wrestling.
We're gonna do what we want when we want, and all that stuff, kind of thing. But I'm interested in seeing where that goes. Like I said, there are rumors that they're going to show up and do something at Survivor Series. One of the best things that's ever happened to WWE is the internet, because I want to see all the possible things that could happen at Survivor Series and see what they actually do. But all in all, everything that happened on SmackDown really made me want to watch Survivor Series. From Charlotte winning against Natalya, now we have Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss, which will be an interesting match, and we'll talk about who we think will win here in a couple minutes. Everything that happened on SmackDown was great, and like I said, you put both these shows together, they're an A-, maybe a solid A. Yeah, I mean they really had a really good beginning of the week, 2 shows, and so now we get to see what happens on NXT, to see what's going on into to War Games, which I'm stoked about.
Me too.
I mean, those matches are going to be really, really fun to watch. And so, yeah, this weekend's going to be really, really good. A really, really good set of pay-per-views, if you will. But yeah, as far as everything else goes, I really like SmackDown.
Yeah, I did. So letter grade.
All right, well, that's you first. What kind of
yeah, it's my turn. Honestly, just because I got so pumped up and I was so invested in everything happened, I got swept up in the wave of momentum, and it took me back to a kid watching wrestling and just being like, oh, or like when you watch a really great movie and like it got me so pumped, like when you see a post-credit scene in a Marvel movie and it gets you so pumped up for the next one. I'm giving SmackDown Live an A+ because it checked all the boxes for me. Great storyline stuff, good matches, good promo stuff, build up to a great pay-per-view, and it left me wanting more, but it left me satisfied at the same time. And so, it's, like I say, I'm an easy guy to please. I don't complain about a lot of stuff when it comes to wrestling, usually, or lots of stuff. So, yeah, for me, it gets an A+, honestly.
I'll give it a solid A. Like I said, both together would be an A-.
Yeah, I agree. These as one go-home show together is an A-.
Yep.
And that's something to be proud of, because we're stoked as could be for Survivor Series. Can't wait to get talking about that. Can't wait to watch it. We're gonna probably have some pizza and bro down while we watch while we watch Survivor Series this weekend. Gonna be excited for that. Well, all right. Anything else to say?
Nope.
We both gave our grades, so now we'll move on, folks, to Survivor Series. So, the Survivor Series pay-per-view, one of the big 4, coming up this Sunday. Cannot wait. Super excited. We will start the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz, representing SmackDown, or Raw rather, versus United States Champion Baron Corbin representing SmackDown. Jeremy, who wins? Why?
Even though I'm looking forward to this match, I don't know. I don't know who wins this match. I'm going to say The Miz because Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I am like I said, I am looking forward to this match. I just don't know, because there's not really a storyline going with it. They just are back and forth on Twitter, and so I don't know. What about you? Who Who you think's going?
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm kind of like, I don't know. Both these guys could use momentum. Both of these guys probably wouldn't be hurt with a loss, and I feel like Miz probably will because of the Miztourage. I feel like he has the upper hand there. But I feel like if that happens, Corbin will still get the last lap because I'm sure he'll wreck all three of them. So
Yeah.
Afterwards, but so yeah, if I had to pick, which is what we're doing, yeah, I'd probably say Miz as well because of the Miztourage.
All right. Now the list we're getting from is again from Wikipedia, and so we're just gonna go straight down the list.
Yeah, it's
and
not in the
about-
match; it's happening on the card because nobody knows what the order is yet. It's just on here.
All right. So the next match they have on Wikipedia is Team Raw, which is Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H versus Team SmackDown, Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, and John Cena. Caleb, I don't know if you want to give like who you think is going to be the last man standing, or
I have an idea.
okay.
I'm not going to place wagers on it, but I have an idea. Yeah.
Okay.
I think Team Raw will win. I think it will. Honestly, it will come down to Kurt Angle and Shane. I think it might come down to that. I don't know. It just makes sense for the progression of the whole storylines for it to come down to those two guys. You know, maybe I don't know. Like it just makes sense. So like if I, I don't like to say betting. I prefer high stakes wagering.
Mm-hmm.
So if I was to place a high stakes wager, it's just a Norm Macdonald joke that I like. Anyways, yeah, if I was to place a bet, I would say that that's probably a safe bet. I think that's what's most likely about to happen is that it'll be Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon as the final two. And then I think Team Raw will win, so I think Angle will be the sole survivor.
Okay.
So I think that's like, and then I don't know, but yeah, there's just so much stuff that could happen with this crew of 10 guys. But that's what I'm saying. Anyways, you.
At first, I thought Team Raw was going to win this because of all the stuff going on in Raw with Kurt Angle maybe losing his job if he loses, and so it would make sense that Team Raw would win, especially since Team SmackDown won the men's last year. 50-50 booking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I still want to say Raw, but I don't know how Triple H gets out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like because what you said is Kurt Angle and Braun Strowman are going to be the last men standing.
Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon.
Huh? Do you think
Kurt Angle and Shane McMahon is what I think?
Oh yeah, sorry. Kurt Angle will be the last man for his team.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing how, because there's so many dynamics in this match.
Mm-hmm.
With Shane and Triple H. Even on the Raw's team as a whole, can Finn Balor and Samoa Joe work together? We saw a little bit on Raw that they kind of can, sorta. Will they during this match? Triple H and Kurt Angle. There's a little bit of tension there. Are they going to be able to? Braun Strowman and anybody on the team. Is he going to be able to co wrestle together? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But everybody on Team SmackDown, they seem to have an okay bond for now, except for possibly Randy Orton and Shinsuke. They've been tagging a lot lately. I wonder if they're gonna feud next, which I think would be great. A great feud for Shinsuke.
Totally.
And Bobby Roode possibly. I think they need to turn him heel as soon as possible. And John Cena is kind of the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
How is he going to be thrown out? Maybe Braun Strowman, or how is he going to be not thrown out? But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
How's he going to be gone?
Yeah, I think it'd have to be Braun or Samoa Joe.
Or Triple H.
Or yeah. Like I don't know. I think that Cena and Orton will probably have to work to get rid of Triple H. Because they haven't done it that often. They do a double finisher where Cena gets him up for the AA and then drops him over into an inverted RKO. So
nice.
Yeah, so it doesn't have a name. I just call it the Star Killer because
That makes sense.
I'm just like, yeah, it's a cool name. That's what I call it. So yeah, I could see them doing that to get like rid of Triple H or something like that, having a team up to kind of, So, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think Team Raw wins, and I'm going to say Triple H is one of the sole survivor, one of the survivors. I think it could be Triple H and Kurt Angle at the end, or even Triple H and Braun, which that would be a cool match, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah,
Triple H and Braun.
that would.
But I think Triple H will at least be one of the last people standing for Team Raw. Sorry, SmackDown, you've assembled a great team, but Raw has to win this.
Yeah, I feel so too. So now we go to the women's 5-on-5 Survivor Series match. Team Raw with Captain Alicia Fox. She is a fox. Nia Jax, Asuka, Sasha Banks, and Bayley versus Team SmackDown versus Becky Lynch, whom I love, Carmella, Naomi, Tamina, and Tiba. Tiba?
That's TBA.
Tiba? Oh, okay.
To
with
be announced.
with a fifth mystery partner who we are deducing might be Paige. But we'll find out. Probably at the match. Like I don't think they'll announce it before.
I could see them bringing up somebody from NXT,
Oh yeah.
but just for this one-off match.
Just this was one off. Oh, if it's Ember Moon, I would lose it.
I would say either Ember.
If it was Ember Moon, I would lose it.
Or probably not one of the earlier. Probably Ember would be the most likely, I would think, but probably Paige.
Yeah. So we're both in agreement that it most likely it'll be Paige. We think so. Jeremy, which team wins and why?
Sorry, long pause. I'm gonna say SmackDown, mostly because Raw will get the men's win. I think Sasha and Bayley, more seeds will be planted, and that they will be not best friends anymore. I think Asuka will be interesting in this match. I think Nia Jax will be interesting in this match. I think Alicia Fox will probably be one of the first ones gone. I also think whoever the to be announced will be one of the people staying in the whole time, with either Carmella or Becky Lynch. I think Naomi and Tamina will be gone. I could either see that or Team Raw winning with just Nia Jax or Asuka. I could see Nia Jax versus Asuka sometime down the road. Anyway, sorry, rambling. I haven't really thought about this as much as I should. Team SmackDown will win. Probably Becky will be one of the last ones. I think they need to make Carmella a little bit stronger because she is the women's Money in the Bank winner. Which
sub question: does she cash in here?
If this match is later, that would be interesting. Like if she wins it.
How crazy would that be if Alexa Bliss and Charlotte have a match and then she cashes in right then and there?
What if she cashes it in for Raw?
That would be crazy.
Holy cow! They have so many ideas here. Oh man, we're just shooting from the hip here, but
I know
that would be insane.
Yeah. What if she, runs in? Yeah. What if she runs then
they'd have two spots.
That would be crazy, dude.
Charlotte. Carmella wouldn't be in this match. Unless this is an early match.
Yeah, unless this match is earlier than the champion versus champion women match.
Because we really don't know.
Yeah,
what's going on first, what's going on last.
Because that would be crazy. What if Charlotte wins and then Carmella comes out and she just says I'm cashing in and then runs over and pins Alexa?
That would be insane.
Holy cow, that would be awesome.
To put Carmella on Raw, which would be interesting. Sorry, we're just postulating and our creative juices are
just light bulb. I was just like when you said, because
wow.
You said the thing about the briefcase and I was like, oh, what if she cashes in?
Yeah, man.
Here,
that'd be crazy.
She has. They have the 5-on-5 women match, and then a couple matches later they have the champion versus champion women's match, and she comes in and cashes in there on
man.
either of them. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
Wow.
Anyways.
Anyway, sorry, we went off on a little tangent there. Yeah,
This is a fun tangent.
That's. Did you were picked, didn't you? No, you didn't.
No.
All right, who do you have, Raw or SmackDown?
I think SmackDown probably will win for the same reason, because you can't have one team sweep all of it, or get a super big leg up. So yeah, I feel like the 2 5-on-5s will be flip flopped. So, because last year Raw won the women's and SmackDown won the men's, so this year it's going to be flip flopped. So I think SmackDown wins. I think because of Tamina, who's got quite a frame on her. She's quite a muscular gal. I think she could, take on Nia Jax. I think, and I think that'd be a very interesting matchup too.
Yep.
Do the super flash splash, because when she pulled that out a couple months ago, I'm just like, whoa, devastating. So yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, it's gonna be the SmackDown women, who prevail.
All right, next one on the list is Raw Tag Team Champions Cesaro and Sheamus versus SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Usos. Who you got in line?
Who that standing in the ring, Oos? That's who I got. I get the Usos, man. I'm so high on the Usos right now. They're awesome, man. I feel like this match is going to be great. I think it's going to be really, really good. And I think the Usos are going to win because they just got such a wave of momentum. I feel like they're really, really hot right now. So even though I feel like a loss wouldn't damage them too much, I just feel like strike while the iron is hot. Give a big, give them an even bigger push, because they do have the SmackDown tag team division on lock. So make them look even more dominant. And then the Raw tag team picture is has a lot there. So
they have a lot of injuries.
So I feel like if they lose, it makes them look a bit more vulnerable, so it makes more people step up to the plate. I feel like that. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm picking more with my heart than my head, but yeah, I want and think the Usos will win.
Yep, Usos win because they're the Usos and they're really good. This along with the Shield versus New Day, those two might be the matches of the night. The Shield and the New Day. One of the things I forgot to mention because I just forgot about until just now. The New Day, when they cut their promo, they were like, "We have got what 37 titles between us." Most of that was Kofi. He's really good. Yeah. That was funny. Yeah, the whole thing about Kofi. Well, thanks, guys. But yeah, both of those matches have a potential to be the match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, Lesnar and Styles could be match of the night if done well.
Mm-hmm.
But Usos and Cesaro and Sheamus, all four of those guys can wrestle circles around anybody else in the league or in the federation or in the whatever you want to call it now. Especially these as tag teams. So Usos got it.
Usos got this match on lock.
Right.
Welcome to Uso Penitentiary, fool. All right. Talking like that is infectious. So I've been listening to their new theme song a lot lately, because all these, like Baron Corbin's got a new theme song, they got a new theme song, so I've been listening to those a lot lately. So yeah, nice. I'm constantly just like Dalsin, day one, yeah. All right, yes. So Universal Champion Brock Lesnar versus the phenomenal WWE Champion, the untouchable one, AJ Styles. They don't want none.
True.
Jeremy, who do you got? I know.
My heart aches for this match. Brock is probably going to win, but they could back themselves out of that. If I put this on Facebook, I think AJ should win because I think it would be interesting. It would give AJ momentum to be the big champion on SmackDown, to be solidify him. They want him to be champion because people weren't buying tickets to go see Jinder be champion.
Mm-hmm.
To have him win this could set up for Brock to just go crazy from now until WrestleMania destroying everyone in his path. He doesn't have to necessarily show up every week, but when he does show up, destroy somebody. Just go in as a beast unhinged for only the Shield to take care of him, for only Roman Reigns to end up taking care of him. I want AJ to win. I think AJ needs to win because just because WWE Championship has kind of waned because of gender. But I think AJ should win. Who do I think is going to win? Brock. What about you?
Everything you just said, I agree with. Brock probably will win because it's Brock Lesnar. But yeah, as long as it's a good match at the end of the day, I feel like that is good, and that might be good enough for me.
Sure.
If the match is really good.
Yeah.
But with Brock Lesnar, you never know. Is it going to be a good match, or is it just going to be a squash match, or is it just going to be a really, really long squash match, which is stupid? You never know. And so, yeah, I hope it's really, really good. I hope because, he highlighted that AJ Styles had speed and he had heart, and Brock was just, the big, strong beast. They can play off that, he uses, he wins the match because he's faster and he's smarter, not because he's stronger or, better or whatever, So, yeah, I feel like he should win because that carries on a huge wave of momentum. He takes on as champion until, I'm calling it right now, Shinsuke Nakamura wins the Royal Rumble, goes on to challenge WWE Champion AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34. Book it. That's what I want to happen.
Sure.
So yeah, I feel like if that's what they want to do, which it kind of seems like they might be setting up for, which I think would be cool, Shinsuke winning the Rumble and then main eventing WrestleMania with AJ would be so good. It would be too sweet.
Say the least.
I know. I was just like, I'm not going to say it. All right, I'm going to say it.
I forgot about something else that Daniel Bryan said to Shane. Sorry, because of AJ Styles.
No, please cut in real quick, then I'll.
It's because he said, I'll see you on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in seeing if Daniel Bryan gets involved in one of these matches somehow. Because there's some tension between he and Shane. I wonder if that could be also a factor into a possible loss or not. Anyway, sorry, just seeing AJ Styles' name, just realizing that I forgot to say that. Anyway, interesting. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what else?
Anyways, go back to my So yeah, I feel like that could carry on such a wave of momentum to a feud with Randy Orton, which would be great, to another feud with John Cena, which he actually, wins outright, with a feud with Kevin Owens, a feud with Sami Zayn, a feud with Bobby Roode, anybody, leading up to WrestleMania, where I'm assuming they want and we all want and are craving for AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And on the opposite side, on the red team, Brock Lesnar, he loses to AJ Styles. He can't believe he lost to AJ Styles. He lost to Goldberg last year. This year he loses to AJ Styles. No, he can't take that. So yeah, like you said, he just can't believe it. He's so angry. He wants to prove himself again. So he has a hit list. He's just gonna decimate everyone on Raw. Leading up. So it's just once a month, twice a month, whatever. It doesn't have to be every night because we know Brock likes to chill a lot. So have him just show up once or twice a month. Just show up, have a match. He just decimates everybody. Maybe even two at a time. Maybe even he could beat 2 people at a time or something like that. I think it'd be funny to have a 5-on-1 cruiserweight versus Brock match where he just, if you win, you're the Universal Champion, and they're just okay. He just takes him to the city. That'd be funny. So yeah, and then he just builds up and builds up and builds up, and is beating all these guys, regaining his momentum, and he just is becoming the beast. All over again. Like you said, he's a beast unhinged, and he's just taking out everybody. But at the same time, concurrently, Roman Reigns is rising the ranks and beating all the same guys too, and carrying off the momentum from beating John Cena, and he carries that. So I feel like that would be a great apex for this story, because you work SmackDown with all the stuff I just described with AJ Styles and Shinsuke, and then you also build towards the Roman Reigns Brock Lesnar feud. So I feel like this would be, this would be such a great, what's the word? This would be a great genesis for those two storylines, for the two main events at WrestleMania for, the two big titles for the brands. So yeah, that's what I feel. But it probably will be Brock Lesnar because he's the beast. Blah blah blah. So as long as the match is good, though, at the end of the day, I guess it's okay. I have to keep telling myself that, though.
Yeah.
I just have to keep telling myself that.
Yep.
Anyways.
All right, next match we got The Shield versus The New Day. Who you got and why?
Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. Yeah, the Shield. I have the Shield winning. I feel like it'll be a fun match, and I think the Shield wins.
Yep, it will be one of the matches in night. Shield definitely wins.
Yeah. No more, no less.
Yeah, they're picking up where they left off after Roman got sick, so they're just picking up, and they did it in a fun way. Survivor Series got a new day, got the New Day who's got 3 people. Why not throw them together?
Yeah, I know, perfect.
Good idea, great idea.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it'll be fun. So, final match on the list here is the Raw Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair. 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 Woo! That was one of my favorite things he used to do on his podcast. So, Jeremy, who wins and why?
This is another one that I'm torn between. I think Charlotte will. Because it's Charlotte, I think she wins. Unless they really want to give Alexa some momentum going into maybe stuff with Asuka later on down the road. I think Charlotte will win. Who do you got?
I feel like it will be Charlotte, and it should be Charlotte just because she just won the title. So I feel like, to just win the title and then to go in and lose, and especially when you're Charlotte Flair, to lose to Alexa Bliss, who is good, but just isn't Charlotte Flair.
Yep.
Because she's, one of I think she'll go down as the best women's wrestler of all time.
Yep.
She's good, man. She's really, really good.
Good.
And Alexa Bliss is very good too. Do not get me wrong. But I just feel like she could. Just because she's, Charlotte is a face now, and Alexa is such a, such a good heel. I feel like it would accentuate both of their qualities. So yeah, that's what I think. I think it will be Charlotte over Alexa. All right. Well, anything else? I think that's
nothing news wise, but something that if any of our listeners would be willing to go to YouTube and go watch the Madden tournament that Up Down Down are putting on. This past week they had Jason Jordan versus Seth Rollins, who has won it 3 straight years.
Really?
Go watch that because it's, first of all, a really good match, a really good game. Secondly, it's fun. It's a fun watch. Also, Luke Harper versus who I didn't know played video games. Luke Harper. Oh yeah, we get to see Bludgeon Brothers next week, which will be fun. Anyway, Luke Harper versus I think one of the Usos, and the Usos are actually relatively good at Madden. I'll just spoil this one because I never saw it coming, and I really wanted to talk to somebody about it. But Luke Harper can play Madden. The
really?
dude, his strategy was interesting. He mostly threw the ball, but when he ran the ball, he ran it with his quarterback, and so he would cut to the right. He would start off, and then he would watch what the defense would do, and if the defense went left, he would roll right and run with the quarterback. He played with the Redskins. He rolled with Kirk Cousins, and he would get like 10 plus yards. And so he would do that the first half. Second half, he would start to roll out, and as the defense were getting ready to go right and come towards him, that guy, the running back or the wide receiver, who that person would leave, he would toss it straight there, and it would look like he got almost to the line of scrimmage, and then he would pass it, toss it, and the dude can play Madden, and
That's
so
awesome.
go watch that matchup. It was really, really well done. Really funny too, and there was I can't remember. Oh, it was one from last week. Gallows and TJP. TJP the whole time, like the dude's so not ADHD, but he's so young.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so young anyway. He's so young that he kept trying to get a too sweet from Gallows. He's like too sweet me, huh? Or too sweet me. Is that too sweet? Can I get too sweet? And Gallows, you can see Gallows getting frustrated, but just like no, you're not kidding. But also they would make fun of AJ. That was really funny.
Really?
Too. Yeah. That's why I think that one's worth a watch because they would make fun of AJ. And then actually there was another one where AJ actually walks in. It was I can't remember who it was. It was what's his name? I think it was one of the Usos and Mojo.
Uh-huh.
And AJ walks in, and Mojo's like, I don't want you standing behind me. He goes to the other side and stuff like that. It was really funny. Like, just go watch the whole series because they're really, really good. Really fun to watch type thing. So, but definitely go watch the Seth Rollins, Jason Jordan, and Luke Harper, one of the Usos. Definitely those two are really good.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
That sounds awesome. Like, and I know you've told me about how like AJ gets like really, really into the games and gets really, really frustrated when he loses or does something wrong and stuff. Which I can relate to that.
Yeah, I mean and they, cause, like I said, they make fun of him in the TJP one because he's broken so many different controllers. I don't know if it's that way. And throughout the whole thing, AJ is known to break controllers, and I think it was TJP that joked like, yeah, they had like they should start doing like 3-packs for AJ, 3-packs of controllers for AJ, so you could just buy the 3-pack and you know.
Yeah, there are some days I want to just toss my controller. That's for sure. So I was gonna talk to you about it later, but it seems like a good time to just go ahead and bring it up now too.
Sure.
I listened to the Jim Cornette podcast, the when he was on Talkish Jericho. That was a good episode, man.
Good.
Like you told me, like listen to the Jim Cornette one. Like it's really good. It's fascinating and it's just really, really good. I'm used to not hearing him be so lax and not like swearing up a storm all the time because every other time I've listened to it, he's always been really, cussing a lot and like, talking about the bad blood he has with somebody or whatever, and like so this one was a nice change of pace. It's like, oh wow, Jim Cornette can be chill. So
I mean, he still did some of the cussing and stuff, but he was more.
He was much more subdued and like relaxed, and he was just chill and stuff like that.
Because with that guy, you can't tell what's his character and what's not his character.
Yeah.
But it was nice to hear some of the things he had to say. Some of the interesting things about, was it OVW?
He was the booker there yeah.
And when WWE took over for a little bit, they were.
Yeah, because they put him in charge of it when they took it over, and he didn't enjoy his time there.
No, he did not, because they would take a guy from their place and then mess him up. Like,
yeah.
And then they would make him go back to the OVW. It's like, wait a minute, you had hair when we left.
Yeah, that part was funny where he's just like, he's like, yeah, this guy, like had long rock star hair. He was, our top heel. He was our champion, and then he comes back and he's bald, and and it's just like, wait, what? Like,
yeah.
Like, yeah, that would be so annoying, but.
Especially when you're trying to establish a character in that quote unquote territory. It's not territory anymore, but that's pretty much how they run it. And it makes me sad that they don't have territories anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That whole conversation, it's like, man, I really wish they had a territory system nowadays where you could see your own territorial people go and wrestle. That's the cool thing about it. But anyway, we're living with what we have now.
Yeah, I mean, but yeah, it was just a really, really good podcast. I love hearing about the old school wrestling stuff like that. Like, it's so fascinating to listen to. And what was it? I know he ran Smoky Mountain Wrestling for a while. He said, but I'm trying to remember was it that promotion or was it another promotion where the Jericho worked with him at?
Smoky Mountain.
It was Smoky
Because
Mountain.
they brought him and
Lance Storm.
Lance Storm in
Yeah.
To be a tag team.
Yeah.
And so
I forgot what they were called. You know, it was like
I can't remember what they're called either.
I don't know. Yeah.
But I like the one story when they were going through the Dairy Queen.
Yeah, the Dairy Queen drive-thru.
And Jericho's like, oh, I want a banana, and so I had to pay for a banana split. And they pull up, and they didn't have the order ready because they thought they were fooling them.
Yeah.
They were like, no, I wouldn't have ordered it if I didn't need it. And I'm like, well, we've had people come through the drive-thru and order stuff and then leave. And I think somebody was trying to tell him to calm down. Like, calm down. It's really funny. It's a really good episode if you guys want to go check it out.
It's like
Jericho's podcast.
Yeah, it's a really good podcast. He has some good stuff on there from time to time. I mean, yeah, every so often, like every so often you're like, that one doesn't look that interesting. But every so often, like, when he gets a wrestling guy or he gets a really, really fascinating person on there, like he had Kiefer Sutherland on there over the summer, and I was like, whoa, I'm gonna have to listen to that one. That one sounds cool. So I did.
And Rainn Wilson. And
that was a good one. That was a good one too. That was a very interesting one. The Rainn Wilson one was.
Yeah, no, the Kiefer one was good because not only did he talk about his acting stuff, but he's got a band, and so that was kind of an interesting conversation about his band and about the shows and movies and stuff that he's done.
It was really cool.
But like you said, there are some Jericho stuff I'm like, I'm not gonna listen to that. I don't really care. Or I don't listen to that band, so I don't really care.
But he had Duff McKagan, the bassist, the original bassist, who's now the bassist again for Guns N' Roses. Several months ago, I listened to that one. That one was really cool. Trying to think of any other ones recently that I've listened to that were really good, but I mean, he's had a lot of good ones here recently that I've downloaded and want to listen to. But if you haven't listened to,
I haven't listened to the one I really want to listen to and totally keep forgetting about is Austin Aries.
Yes, I want to listen to that one too. I haven't listened to that one yet either, but that one sounds good.
He's got a new one up, the Real Life Indiana Jones, which will be interesting to watch, to listen to. The Singh Brothers was actually pretty interesting to listen to. The Pillman 20 Years Later was really good.
I liked that one too. I just listened to that one the other day. That was a good one.
The tribute to Bobby the Brain Heenan was good. Cody Rhodes was a really good listen.
That was. That was a good one. I liked that one. And what was the other one? Oh man, I just had it.
He did one with the Hurricane that you said was pretty good.
Yeah, that was from a couple of years ago.
The Drew McIntyre was all right. Breezango was pretty funny.
Yeah, that one was funny.
Iron Mike Tyson was really good, even though it was relatively short.
Yeah, that one was only like 50 minutes because he had to fill like the first 30 minutes with him talking to his son or something, I think. Yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro. I mean, the list goes on.
That one I liked. The Sheamus and Cesaro one was really good, and he did one earlier in the summer. I think it was like late June or mid June, something like that, with Bruno Sammartino. It was a long one. It was like 2 hours, but it was probably the best one he's done. Like, it was absolutely fascinating.
I think I listened to that one.
It was really good. Like, and it took place in an Italian restaurant that Bruno Sammartino owns. They were like way off in the back so you can kind of hear all the restaurant sounds in the back in the background and stuff. And they had dinner and then they did the podcast, and so Bruno Sammartino just talks about his life and his career and stuff like that. And it's probably the best one Jericho's done. It was just absolutely fascinating and it was really good. He's done some like that don't have anything to do with with music or wrestling that have been good. And some of the ones he does with music are really good. Like he did one about like rock and roll conspiracies, like all the conspiracy theories and ghost stories or stuff like that about rock and roll that was really cool. And then he did one about the Muhammad Ali versus Antonio Inoki boxing wrestling super fight. This guy did a book about it, and so he interviewed that guy. Yeah, it's so many good episodes of it. The Jim Cornette one just listened to this past weekend, and it was really, really good.
Yeah, I'll have to go listen to it because Cornette's got a podcast too that I'm going to start listening to.
Oh, he does?
He does.
Oh, yeah, he did. He brought it up on there. He did, yeah. So, yeah, it was good. It was a good listen. It was good to have my image of him shattered because my, because my image of him wasn't a favorable one because of all the stuff I've listened. Because he is a very controversial figure, but it's good to kind of see that shroud taken off and see how he is most of the time. So, and it's also good to hear that he doesn't hate Vince, and because he talked about like Vince, I was always cool with you. I just didn't like some of the guys who are working for you. So, it's cool to hear that he doesn't absolutely hate Vince and that he's cool with.
And it's nice to hear somebody who loves the business. Like, I don't know where Vince stands in the business of wrestling. I know he's in the business of making money, but to listen to a guy who absolutely loves the business of wrestling, it's nice to hear those words. It's nice to hear that the people still care about it. So
it is, and to hear his take on how he also gets fed up a lot with guys breaking kayfabe on Twitter. It's like, don't take pictures of yourself sightseeing and palling around with the guy who you just beat the crap out of on Monday Night Raw. Like, do that on your personal account. On your, your wrestling account. Keep kayfabe alive. And I know he, he's very much into the psychology, the ring psychology of the business, and he hates, just having a 25-minute long match that's just a spot fest with no psychology. It's just like, and stuff like that. So it's very interesting to hear his take on stuff like that too, how he's very, very much into, the psychology, the acting involved in wrestling, not just always like, oh, I need to get all my high spots in and blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it was a very fascinating podcast. Take a listen to Jericho's podcast. I think he does like 2 episodes a week. Usually they're pretty good. It's good ones, good one with Roman Reigns earlier in the year. And like I said, that one, and then the one with Bruno Sammartino, and then this one. All very good. Just go listen to them. Very fantastic. Fascinating stuff. Anything else before we head home?
Nope.
All right, cool. Well, Survivor Series. Can't wait. Be exciting. We'll be watching it together, and we'll also be watching the ESPN 30 for 30 Nature Boy about the life and times of the GOAT, Ric Flair. And I watched it already, but I want to watch it again. And I don't think you've seen it yet. Okay, so we'll watch that, and then next week, if you're up for it, we could talk about it after everything. So give our thoughts and reviews about it and all that malarkey. So it should be fun. Well, everybody, thanks for stopping by. This is Caleb.
This is Jeremy.
Signing off.
Peace.